Hello again. I just wanted to acknowledge like how cool this area is right here. I don't know. I was just thinking that before I hit record that wow, that's like a really cool looking, I don't know, just landscape. A little random, but yeah. I was interested to kind of talk about something that happened to me recently. And I won't go into a ton of detail, but essentially, overthinking costed me. Me overthinking something costed me, time with people that I care about, costed me like happiness and such. And it was an interesting situation because when I was overthinking something, and then when I got to the point where I was faced with what I was overthinking about, it didn't even matter. It was something that, yeah, like if I would have been completely fine if I didn't, get lost in my own thoughts or worries about something. And I just thought it was interesting. After it happened, I was like, wow, like I can't believe, because it's funny because like stuff like that, like you hear about, right? Like you're like, I think that's a classic story trope where you get so worked up over like a detail or something like that, or something that you're worried about, that you miss out on maybe like a good opportunity, or something along those lines. I feel like that's sort of a classic kind of trope. But it was interesting to be faced with that, and to be in that situation where I'm looking back and I'm like, wow, like if I would have just not worried, it would have been fine. And for me personally, I feel like I do overthink a good bit. I think I overanalyze a good bit. And I would say about 99% of the time, things just work out and are fine. And that could be, kind of, that could vary from brain to brain, I guess. For lack of or better phrasing, I don't know. Like from person to person, that can maybe vary. Some people, I think it comes natural for them to maybe not overthink things. And it's a little bit more natural for them to kind of just to act or not worry. But at least for myself, I'm definitely that type of person to, I guess, overanalyze a lot of things. It could be interactions with people, it can be like, I don't know, like just really anything, like anything that presents the opportunity where you can try to overanalyze, or like, oh, did I say the right thing, or oh, like did I wear the right thing, or I don't know, there's a lot of different things I think that you can overthink about. But I just thought that it was interesting that it happened to me. Not to say that I like should be immune to stuff like that. It was just like, I don't know. It was definitely sad too, because yeah, like I said, like because of me overthinking something, like I lost out on what could have been like really fun times and stuff. And yeah, I feel like that's something that I definitely need to be like more conscious about. Like if I'm like really overthinking something, I feel like it's almost like a it's like a loop. It's like a thought loop. You know, one worried thought turns into another, and it's like this kind of storm, I think, that happens, at least in my mind, where you're just like, you know, it's like a constant, like this thought leads to this thought leads to that thought. And yeah, I mean, like I said, it's definitely something that I could improve upon. I'm not sure if anybody else can relate. I think that that's a sort of common thing to do, right? And it can manifest, or, you know, like even if you're nervous or something, right? If you're like, I think like, yeah, if you can get nervous, let's say you have like a performance, you know, I think that's almost a way of overthinking, right? Because you're like, oh, I messed up, like, or, you know, they probably think this about this. When in reality, like, you know, who, like, whatever, maybe you messed up, like, no one heard it, or they heard it, but it's like they don't really care. They're just like, you know, time went on. But I guess specifically, you know, what I'm getting at currently is the type of overthinking that may prevent you from opportunity, may prevent you from, like, you know, experiencing happiness or having a good time, you know, achieving your dreams. So I think, like, and I've done this for sure, where, you know, let's say you want to try to learn something new or achieve something. A lot of people can get stuck on just starting, just because they're overthinking. They're like, well, what I make isn't going to be great, or, you know, something along those lines. When, you know, and it's interesting because, like, they've spent like a week, you know, thinking about starting when someone's already started and has been going, you know, for a week. And I feel like I've definitely, like, felt, you know, victim to that for sure, where you're like, well, I don't have the right gear. You know, like, you don't, oh, it's not gonna be good. Oh, my idea is, like, not great. You know, are people even gonna like this? Things like that. I feel like, for the most part, no one's really, like, immune to stuff like that, but I think some people probably tend to lean towards thoughts like that than others, for sure. You know, it's super interesting because I'm, like, getting stumped on a path forward for talking with this video, and I almost didn't record this video because I was like, I have something that I want to talk about, but I don't know, you know, if I'm going to be able to talk enough about it or whatnot. I almost was just like, whatever, like, I won't do it. But I ended up doing it, which is good. I definitely, at least currently, still would like to, like, create videos and make videos. But I think even, like, with creating the videos, like, I think, you know, I can maybe get lost in, like, just being, like, I guess, free to, or, I don't know. I think overthinking can kind of prevent me from, like, trying new things with making videos. Starting a video in a different way. Adding something that I wouldn't add in the video before. I think some people, or a lot of creators, may be able to relate to that, where if they find some sort of a groove that they're in, from fear of how it may be received, they may not want to change. But I feel like a lot of the cool stuff that comes from people who create usually happens or can come from when they experiment, when they try to like evolve what they're doing. But even that can be limited by overthinking. You know, kind of like I just said, people can, you know, maybe they have a great idea of how they can improve their product. Let's say like you're selling a product or like some item, and you have this grand idea. You're like, it's great right now, but I could really improve it if I did this. But like, what if it doesn't do well? And a lot of people will get stuck on that. You know what I mean? They'll get stuck on like, well, I don't want to change because, you know, what I have is kind of working right now, but you know, if I try to change, like, what if it doesn't do well? There was something that I heard recently and I can't really remember it. It was like something about, it was definitely in line with this. It's like something about action. Yeah, it was something about action and like the fear of like, you know, like basically fear holding you back from action. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much, you know, all I have, at least for that specific topic. And this is one of the things that I kind of feared with, you know, making this video, is like, I don't really have much to, I guess, go off of. Making these videos is weird because, like, all of this is off the cuff. None of this is scripted. So I'm completely depending on my own ability to kind of elaborate on things and kind of just talk. And I feel like sometimes that kind of comes naturally, and other times, I think like now, I don't know, you feel like some sort of a block maybe. And I definitely don't like mixing like different topics. Like if I were going to, or if I were to record a video, like I wouldn't want to like, I guess, mix, but at the same time, like, why not? Why not? Yeah. I hope this world that I have right now lasts a while, I'm not gonna lie. I've had so many. It'd be cool if this one turned into something like decently grand. Who knows though? I'm kind of on and off when it comes to playing on this world. Playing games in general. Like I haven't really been playing any games recently. Yeah. I wonder if like when some people don't realize that it may be like overthinking. That's because I feel like thinking at all about something instead of doing can possibly be overthinking. You know what I mean? I think some people, they have thoughts about doing something and they just don't act. They just like kind of think about it and whatnot and how they may do it or what they may do, but they just don't do. And I feel like maybe a lot of people get hung up on that. They get hung up on the do part of just doing anything, doing something that they know they need to do, or doing something that they would like to do. I think a lot of people just kind of get stuck mentally, which is kind of in line with overthinking. I think thinking, like I said, thinking at all can possibly be overthinking. But I feel like ultimately, sometimes putting too much thought into things can like prevent you from something really cool, most likely. Or you know, it doesn't all have to, I guess, be funneled into like, you know, chasing your dreams. Like, the more you think about how much you need to like clean your room, you know what I mean? What if you just did it? And now you have a clean room and you're probably happy because you're just sitting in a clean room. Maybe something like that too. Doesn't exactly have to be something grandiose. I do like look at that part of myself and I envy that sort of a trait in other people. You know what I mean? Because I do think some people are kind of like more naturally inclined. They are natural, like just doers. Like people who maybe don't overthink, I feel like it's easier for them to just, you know, do. Easier for them to just like execute. You know what I mean? Like, for example, like something that I would like to do, maybe a decent bit in my life, is like move around a lot to different like places, different countries maybe. And I think about that a lot. And then I'll see other people just doing it. You know, they just they just pick themselves up and move, and you know what I mean? But for me, like I get stuck in the plan. What's the plan? Or like what if it doesn't work out? Or what if this, what if that? You know, like that's a big thing for me. But I feel like that type of thinking can definitely hold you back from a lot of stuff. Like, sure, it's a possibility. Like you can run into issues with things. Like if you take action on something, yes, maybe issues will pop up, but like you'll figure it out. You'll get through it. It's not the end of the world. But I feel like that's definitely, you know, something that I do personally, at least I know for sure. So, and I can, you know, take this advice myself or take it as a challenge for myself, but I would challenge anybody who's listening to, like, if you were in that position where like you really want to do something, but you're just like thinking about it. And obviously, like, you know, you maybe want to be sort of calculated in some things because you don't want to just like dive into, I don't know, your demise, I guess. But maybe that's me overthinking about what I'm trying to say. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm doing the thinking for you. I'm thinking, well, like, okay, well, wait a minute. I don't think being calculated is necessarily a bad thing. It's not. But I do know that if you ponder, you know, on something too much, you'll probably just get stuck and not go anywhere. You definitely don't want to have like analysis paralysis, right? Yeah, it could be like, if let's say you want to learn drum set, but you're like, what if I'm just not good? Or like, what if, like, you know, it's probably a lot of work or whatever. Like, people will get lost in these, I say people, myself too, but like, I have a feeling other people probably do as well. But like, I think it's just easy to get lost in those sort of thoughts. Yeah. It's funny because like earlier, you know, I'm saying like, you know, oh, it's hard for me to like find my thoughts, and then I just find them because I just start talking. I just started doing. Because, like, even when I was saying that earlier, where I was like, well, I don't know if I have anything. I want to say I did say that I, like, oh, I don't have anything to say. You know, that's me. Like, why am I even, like, thinking of it? Just, like, talk. Just free flow of thoughts. Like, why even think about that? It's kind of an example, I guess. But, yeah, just to give some information about this world that I have, I'm trying to dig that hole that you probably saw in the beginning of the video. I want to dig it all the way down to bedrock, and after that, I don't know what's it's gonna be used for or anything. I just wanna, that's just something with me. I love, like, trying to dig a big hole in Minecraft for some reason. I'm not sure why. That's just something. It's like cathartic, I think. It's just relaxing. It's like the repetitive action over and over and over. Yeah. It's something else that I'd like to try to stop doing. I say a lot in these videos, and I use it to fill the silence, but I want to try to stop doing that and just let the silence be silence. Just sucks to, I guess, for there to be silence, but maybe it's not a bad thing. Gives me room to think. Gives someone who's listening room to think. So I don't think it's a bad thing. But it's definitely going to take a lot of intention to not do that. Anyway, though, I think I'm going to go ahead and stop things here. But hopefully, you know, someone got something from this, and yeah, hope you have a good one. Peace.